Bob Melvin said yesterday he should be much better than that.
Started against Colorado and allowed only 1 run.
The numbers would suggest he should be 3-0. I mean, I've never seen a guy 0-3 with a less than 2 ERA. So it'd be nice if we scored him some runs tomorrow. We certainly owe him it.
Now, no doubt owe him that one. 0-1 the count.
I mean, you can just sense and feel the frustration in Bob Melvin's voice just in that little soundbite right there. And you know how I love soundbites.
An early soundbite to get things started as we are underway. Reynolds kicks it over. Stephen Drew, and no chance. Mark with the dive. And continuing against Haren, 6 for 15 Spielborgs, nearly 400 in his career against Dan Haren.
Well, the effort from Mark Reynolds just off the end of his glove, and there's your base runner. Here's the dive to the left. That might be one that Mark Reynolds wishes he had back. But you love the effort.
And so now Jeff Baker. Baker in the skids a bit, hitless in his last 9 at-bats, 0 for 3 in this series. And he takes a pitch from Dan that dives low, 1-0 the count. Baker just 2 career at-bats against Haren, 1 for 2 in that time. Now you go deeper into Dan's numbers, 19 innings, 12 hits,
and he
3 walks. Just 15 base runners in 19 innings. And so the base runners have been few and far between as that one dives low. 2-0 the count. Mark Gracie doesn't certainly have the movement that, let's say, Brandon Webb has, but his fastball does have some tilt to it, doesn't it?
No question. He's got anywhere from 90 to 92 miles an hour. He's got the cutter now that goes away from the right-hander. He's got the sinker down and in. That's what he needs to get the ground ball. Throw a breaking ball there.
Yeah, the curve ball on 2-0, folks. He threw that breaking ball. I think that pitch selection right there, and then the execution, that sums up Dan Haren right there.
Well, it's what sets him apart from the above-average pitcher. The above-average pitcher probably wouldn't throw a 2-0 breaking ball, the guy on first and nobody out, to the number 2 hitter. The great pitcher will and execute it for a strike.
Well, that's the key, though. The last thing you just said is executing it for a strike. He certainly, as you can see, one of 2 pitchers since '83 to lose his first 3 starts, have that ERA. Juan Cruz starting with the Cubs back then.
Our old buddy Juan Cruz.
The 2-1 runner goes, bouncing ball. Again, another chance for Reynolds. No shot at a double play. Keeps those feet moving and shoots it on across. Defensively, the Diamondbacks line up like this. Connor Jackson, Chris Young, and Eric Burns on the infield. Reynolds already tested twice. Drew, Lopez, and Chad Tracy. Dan Haren working with Chris Snyder. Stephen Drew, the hamstring, feeling better. And could have started yesterday and play yesterday. He knew yesterday that he'd be getting the start today. Not only out there defensively, but hoping to get things going offensively as well, like this man has done his entire career. As that pitch is away to Todd Helton.
And Todd Helton starting to heat up. Hit a home run here late in last evening's ball game to put the Diamondbacks away. He's just one of those guys you wish. You're getting old, Todd. You know, day game after a night game. Take the night off. Take the day off. Nope, not this guy. There's hits to be had.
And this is last night, going up the ladder and getting it. John Roush continuing to struggle. Todd Helton made sure of that. The 1-1.
Oh, what a pitch. Split finger for a called strike, Darren Sutton.
And most of the time, that pitch isn't thrown for a called strike. Usually throw it in the dirt.
But look where it is. Outside corner at the knees. What a thing of beauty that was.
Now you get inside of the head of Haren, which is fun to do. Does he throw one out there, maybe bounce it? Same pitch? This is Todd Helton, after all. A breaking ball, and it's just wide.
Boy, Dale Scott, the crew chief and home plate umpire, thought it was just a smidgen outside.
Two and two the count. What fun to watch these two do battle. Helton 2 for 11 in his career against Haren with a homer. That's that cut fastball. He ran it in on his hands. He just opened up the kitchen drawer and brought everything out. And did so well.
After 2 off-speed pitches away, the split finger and the curveball to the outside corner. Now it's time to throw the cutter in on the hands, and he gets it right where he wants, right underneath the hands of Todd Helton. And he just absolutely abused him. Good stuff there from Dan Haren. One big out to go. Diamondbacks have really struggled, especially in these 2 games lately, giving up big base hits with RBI base hits with 2 outs. Let's see if Dan Haren can end that trend.
And here is Garrett Atkins as that one popped up and into the seats it goes. Atkins is another guy just like Helton. They both came in with low batting averages. It's still low, but starting to heat up. And you keep thinking, can we help you pack and get you out of town?
Yeah. Wish you well on the next series, but go ahead and make a few outs today.
4 for 9 in this series is Atkins. Dan Haren just worked right out of it. Boy, it's fun to watch him pitch. This club trying to win for the first time a series this season. Got to get it done this afternoon. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. He knows he can count on Felipe Lopez. Has been all season long. Southwest Airlines, our sponsor. Stephen Drew back in there. Connor Jackson. You can see Stephen, that hamstring. Now he is back. It's Reynolds, it's Tracy, it's Young, Eric Burns instead of Justin Upton, and Chris Snyder catching. Dan Haren. Got to get Chris going offensively as well. Well, a left-hander and certainly a bugaboo. The Diamondbacks, though they scored last night plentifully, the Diamondbacks are now 0-6 in games started where left-handed pitchers go against them. Let's take a look at the defense. And that needs to change today. It's Seth Smith, Ryan Spilborghs, and Brad Hawpe. Garrett Atkins, Tulo back in there at short. Jeff Baker and Gold Glover Todd Helton. De La Rosa working with Iannetta.
De La Rosa, a hard-throwing left-hander. But you saw he can get wild. 6 walks already in just 10 innings.
That has been his burden to bear his entire career. His gift is his arm. And he can throw hard. Gets going 92 miles an hour. Left-handers, well, if their first pitch of the game, 92, they don't grow on trees.
No.
And that's why he keeps getting work. Off-speed pitch stays high and away. Jorge Alberto Gonzalez de la Rosa.
Wow.
Last year made 23 starts for the Rockies, 10 wins, and a strikeout per inning of work as that one bounces in there. 93, but in the dirt.
Yeah, and that's where you see where his command is just hit and miss. That's a fastball in the dirt. That's hard to do for a major league pitcher.
2 balls and 1 strike the count. That pitch is high, 3-1. Lopez showing good patience. Felipe 5 for 10 in this series with a double. Hitting .404 as a leadoff hitter this year. He's been there a majority of the time. 3-2 the count.
Nice job there, making De La Rosa throw him another strike.
Young man out of Monterrey, Mexico. Lopez. You've explained it to us quite a bit that when a hitter is hot, well, it's been about a week and a half that he's been hot. Not only do they drive the ball and make contact consistently, they're also able to take pitches that are balls and spoil close pitches.
That was a close pitch there. Might have been off the plate, but he was able to spoil it. Might get a mistake here. A ball 4 from De La Rosa.
Switch hitter batting right-handed. There you go. Take close pitches or spoil as well. Well, he has really been fun to watch as well.
Pleasure.
All right, our key to the game: Arrowhead, Brown and Brown, and Superstition Springs. Hour 3 Chevy dealers bring you the key to the game. Mark Grace gets series us.
Well, got to win a series eventually this year, don't you? It hadn't happened yet.
No.
Diamondbacks have lost every series they've played. Well, this is another rubber match here. 0-4 in rubber matches so far. And Stephen Drew decided to drop one down and take it with him, and unfortunately, he dropped one up in the air for an easy out.
Left fielder number 34, Connor Jackson.
Get serious us, Darren. You need to get a little serious up here.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
Tired of you having all this fun. How dare you?
I've heard that before, and I appreciate you bringing me back in.
You know I don't like any fun up here.
No, you don't.
Come on.
That's why I came to work with you. Here's Connor Jackson. I knew you'd keep me on the straight and narrow.
That's right. All right. That's enough seriousness. Let's have some fun.
Pitch is low to Connor Jackson, 1-0 the count. Connor with 10 hits this season, hitting just .204 and on base of .235. He was 2 for 5 with an RBI last night, snapping an 0 for 12, and we'll say it one last time. One of the reasons I believe Connor started to have his wheels spin a bit, as that one goes right down the heart, was Tim Lincecum Saturday, first at bat, a pitch that if he would have stood still, taken his helmet off.
Yeah, got him a face ball. And a lot of times, if you're a great hitter, or what an opponent deems to be a great hitter, that's what they do. They feel like they have to knock you on your fanny because they think that'll take you right out of it.
To right field, late break, and now recovering. Brad Haupt makes the play, and so Connor lines out to right field. Speaking of that series, by the way.
It did take him out of it, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. Augie Ojeda. He had the lone hit against Randy Johnson, had a hit against Tim Lincecum as well in that series. This weekend, as advertised now, it's Lincecum against Davis on Friday, Johnson against Scherzer on Saturday, and Kane against Garland on Sunday.
That means the Giants have moved their pitchers.
They've skipped
back.
Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't want him to throw again, would you? He only threw a, 6 1/3 shutout against the Diamondbacks?
Well, that's what is announced right now. There was some indications by the Giants that they would not, in fact, skip Sanchez, which would have set up a Tim Lincecum Max Scherzer matchup. I like the matchups as is.
Those are good. Those are 3 pretty good ones.
But I would have loved one with those 2 kids facing one another. Picked back-to-back in the draft. Max right behind Lincecum in 2006 in the first round.
Lincecum been unbelievable ever since he arrived at the big league level. Max still looking for that first big league win. He's pitched better than no victories in the big leagues. He's kind of got the Dan Haren disease right now. He can't get any run support.
Mark Reynolds fouls that one back. That one into press row.
And it's still bounding around.
Oh.
That's Dan Bickley over there of the Arizona Republic. Ducking, just now coming off the carpet.
2-1 the count to Reynolds. That one is high and away.
Well, Reynolds should pick one pitch in one spot at the speed he likes, and if he gets it, try to hit home run number 5. That's what you're going to get with De La Rosa. You're going to get a lot of fastball counts, and you're going to get a lot of fastballs. Let's see if he can put a good swing on one.
Did he go around? He did not. That's a walk.
Here's the situation, Darren. You know I preach this all the time, but as an offensive player, you've got to make a pitcher pay for this. 2 walks in an inning. As pitching coach Bob Apodaca is going to come out and have a conversation with his left-hander. Did he go, folks? Nah, he checked it up. When you got that kind of bat speed, it's tough to check it up. Jerry Meals at first base. Nah.
So now a lefty on lefty and an opportunity for Chad Tracy that he really relishes. Doesn't always get this chance, gets the start today. Chad Tracy, in his last 25 games against left-handed pitchers dating back to last year, hits .273 with a slugging percentage of .576.
And he's a good fastball hitter, and you've got a good fastball pitcher. So if you get the lefty-lefty matchup, this is one you have to like with Chad Tracy. Boy, he took one right down the middle. That's the one to hit right there, Darren.
2 for 5 with a double in the series. 1 for 7 this season against lefties. Breaking ball. And as you say, you educate us because you stood in that side of the batter's box.
You hit that first fastball right down the middle because now you fall behind 0-1. You open up the opportunity to throw that hard slider. And that's the pitch that gives Chad Tracy trouble. He has trouble laying off those sliders, as all lefties do.
The 0-2. 1-2 the count to Tracy.
That's the old adage that Ryan Sandberg taught me. Get him before he gets you. Hit your pitch, not his pitch.
And he has always hit the Rockies, no matter which side you throw from. Ridiculous numbers. 1-2 the count. Out front, off speed, long run. And the play is made out there by Seth Smith. Couple of walks, stranded by the Diamondbacks. We move along, scoreless.
up. Probably got 300 or 400 of them. I actually got the idea from Esteban Loaiza, who's a pitcher. He's been with a couple organizations, but he did this in his office, and I thought it looked really cool. And I'm not a huge collector, so I thought it was something easy to collect. And I mean, look what it's come to. Now I've gone kind of over the top.
May 1st, the debut of Dan Haren. In my own words, a big shift for Brad Hawpe. And you always say with a power hitter, those of us laymen that sit up here in the booth, well, you wonder why the guys don't just bunt into this defense more often. There you go.
I love that by Brad Hawpe. And you can walk to first base. Although I'm kind of mad at Brad Hawpe. He wanted me to go in the pool last night.
I see. Good to see he had a lot of influence. Maybe we should have had Troy Tulowitzki say he wanted you to go in the pool. As that one is right down the middle. 0-1 the count.
Are you? Did you get your ears all cleaned out? No more water in your ears or anything?
0-1 the count. Hoping we wouldn't talk about this today. Pool show's over now. 0-2. Tulo 3 for 15 with a home run in his career against Haren. Given a mental day yesterday, something I should have taken.
Well, that was a tremendous belly flop, though. That was one of those you see on those belly flop contests. That would have been a victor, except you're not as big as those rascals doing those belly flop contests. I think we need to take a look at it. Is that Steve right 3 on the outside corner? Look at this one. That is big league. Yes, sir, Mr. Darren Sutton.
Unbelievable.
You know what? And I like that you were a stand-up guy. You did it. I would have done the same thing had I been chosen by the fans. But the fans spoke, and you didn't let them down.
Well, here's Chris Heinen. High fly ball, shallow center field. And on the first pitch, a little cut fastball away. Here's the thing you look for, folks, if you're watching Dan Haren pitch. If you see a ball bend, in other words, dive down, and it's in the 70s, it's that breaking ball that he throws.
The curveball, the spike curve, we like to call it.
If you see a ball bend like that one did, and it's in the 80s, usually in the mid to high 80s, it's a cut fastball. And then otherwise, the other fastball in the low 90s to high 80s usually will run away from a left-hander. That's that two-seam fastball he throws. It's easy to think, though, I guess why I'm going into all that, it's easy to think that Danny throws a slider. He has a pitch harder that looks like a slider and softer, but he does not throw a slider. Just for the love of Pete, folks, next time, could you make sure you vote the right way when we do the pool show in 4 more years again? Every 4 years, like the Olympics. That one is away. There's the fastball. You saw the run away from the left-handed hitter. Vote. You all did.
You're a big fan of Charlie Hustle, are you?
Absolutely.
For the love of Pete. I am too. What a hitter.
That's an easy answer for me, my friend. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0 the count. Yeah, we were speaking of this weekend, on the Giants website, and it seems they haven't updated their website yet because Giants communicating with the D-backs this morning that they will be switching Sanchez, and that's you'd say in a way a break, but is it a break to get Matt Cain?
No. Not at all. Giants have some good starting pitching. It's just a matter of, well, as we saw in that series up in San Francisco, it's just a matter of, are they going to score enough runs to stay competitive? Offensively, they're limited. Their bullpen's nothing to really crow about, but they've got some starting pitching.
Smith has first at bats in this series, 3 for 9 on the road trip, and there you see getaway day baseball. 3-1, a breaking ball.
That's a curveball. It's not a slider, correct?
But that one looks like that harder breaking ball he throws, that looks like a slider.
Yeah, that is a curveball, actually, folks. And that is perfect.
3-2 the count. You're Seth Smith. What in the world are you looking for now? Runner goes. He threw him another one. You heard him chirp at himself, angry about it. He doesn't walk many at all.
Well, and what that does, it brings up the opposing pitcher. And yeah, you're thinking, well, with Dan Haren's talent, he should be able to get him out. But what that does, it keeps the pitcher from leading off the next inning. And that's what all pitchers want. Like to get that quote unquote free out and then face the top of the order with one in the wagon. But now he's going to have to bear down and get De La Rosa. We saw these Rocky pitchers put a hurting on the Diamondbacks last night with hits.
Double Glendon Rush, Franklin Morales, a single and an RBI. Morales removed from the game after a couple of innings with shoulder tenderness.
For all you wondering about Franklin's shoulder, still tender.
Yes, that is exactly right. The 0-1. Waves at a pitch away. No balls and 2 strikes.
That was nearly a pitch out. Full swing. Let's take a look where Snyder goes with that. That would have hit a right-handed hitter right in the kneecap. Go right back out there, Dan.
0-2. He did. He went way out there to the other batter's box.
Sometimes, get it?
Yes, it can. Drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. Now the Diamondbacks reached that mark last night, which means today between 4 and 6 we like to call that dinner. Get yourself a large drink and bring the family. If you're within the sound of my voice, go take advantage and pull for the Diamondbacks to do so again today. And if they do it today, you can go tomorrow. Chris Young against Franklin Morales. And he got large. And it was a Young-Burns duo going back-to-back with home runs. Last time the Diamondbacks did it last season in August against the Rockies when Chris Snyder and Chris Burke did it. Fastball is away. To be specific, with regard to Franklin Morales last night, we were mentioning him. He just gave up that home run in the highlight. Strained muscle in an area on his left shoulder. Still listing him as day-to-day, and they say if Morales can't make the start, Jason Hamill, who was a starter and a reliever with the Rays last couple of years, will make the start in his place. So still waiting to find out.
Oh dear.
Changeup?
That's a split finger slash changeup.
Okay.
It acted more like a split finger. It was nasty. And you tell me, Darren. More like a split. Not more like a breaking ball.
Mm-hmm.
Good take right there. That's a tough pitch to lay off.
Covered Jorge for a couple of seasons in the Midwest, and there was, as we talked about earlier, never denying stuff. And here's the flashes right there in that at bat against Chris Young. It's not just a great arm, Gracie. He would have flashes of brilliance, and then they would disappear.
Fielder number 22.
Way out in front was Chris Young. Very well executed right at the kneecaps on that split finger.
Here's Eric Burns. Homered last night. As that one is low.
They put a big charge into that.
He also walked, and after he walked, stole his first base of the season. As that one grabs the outside corner. 1-1 the count to Burns. .28-year-old left-hander. Boy, pretty good pitch right there. 94 miles an hour.
Catcher Iannetta left the glove right there for Dale Scott to call it a strike. Still hadn't gotten the call. It's a pretty good pitch, though.
Eric Burns runs it into right center field. He's on the move, and he'll take off. Into second he goes. A two-bagger. An extra base hit for Eric Burns. He was just 2 for 13 with a homer against lefties prior to that. Now he's in scoring position.
No, just a beautiful swing, fastball, tailing away. Burns goes right with it into the gap. Spilborghs tries to cut it off. And Burns on the move, high stepping, thinking second base the whole way. And that'll set up Chris Snyder, who could use a little love. Struggling out of the gate this year is Snyder.
Just a pair of hits on the season. Batting average below 100. And I'm telling you, and this certainly Chris wouldn't use this as an excuse, but it's a reality. It's just a pain in the backside at times to bat eighth. And Chris, I'm sure, following into that a bit. I mean, he's hitting .087. His on base percentage is .300, which means you have to decide when to walk, when to swing. But to that point, he's received 2 strikes to deal with here.
Well, but also, Darren, when you're hitting .087, it seems like the pitcher just throws perfect pitches to you. And those were 2 pitches right at the bottom of the kneecaps. 1 fastball, 1 split finger. And you're like, man, 2 perfect pitches to get to 0-2. Now you got to battle. And that's all you're doing here, just battling, survival. Just missed. De La Rosa wanted it.
So Chris tries to get it going. Talked about a lot what Chris did last year with regard to the timely hitting. That certainly was his forte. This would be a good time to pitch in and get it done right now. RBI about every 5 at bats last season.
I think he went.
Yes, he did, and that's strike 3. Big sweeping breaking ball.
Let's take a look. Yeah, it just got out there a little too far for Snyder.
And here's Dan Haren. Hitless this year, but can hit. And you hope a pitcher who at times can drift with regard to his focus like De La Rosa, maybe Danny can take advantage of a mistake. Oh, and 1 the count. I mean, he looks a little bit hitterish, doesn't he, Mark Grace?
He does. He's a guy that in college he was a good hitter. He was a DH at Pepperdine. He's got an idea.
Burns with a double with 1 out. De La Rosa, I'd forgotten how deliberate he is.
Oh, Jorge. It's only getaway day.
Burns to third, a stolen base. Stole that one on the pitcher. Now a pitcher that certainly can bounce a baseball. If he does, it's a run.
No, that's the. There's a few extra ways to score now. A wild pitch, a pass ball, or an infield hit. A few others, not to mention.
Outside, 2-1 the count. Gracie pointed out early on, and astutely so, certainly, that this is a guy that the third pitch of the game, a fastball that he bounced.
And what it also does, it turns him into a fastball pitcher. Now he doesn't want to bounce a breaking ball or a split finger. So he's going to try to throw something he can keep in the air.
Line drive, center field, but it hangs up. Boy, he put a nice pass in that baseball. For the second consecutive inning, the Diamondbacks strand a runner in scoring position. Diamondbacks baseball brought to you by the top 3 power Chevy dealers in the Valley: Arrowhead, Brown & Brown, and Superstition Springs. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Look at Glenn Koch. And that is Parker. How good looking is Parker?
Well, he is a handsome young man.
He came and visited the booth earlier. Good to see Parker takes after his mom. Or better said, thank goodness that Parker takes after his mom. Ryan Spilborghs as we head back to the top of the order. And Dan Haren goes back to work. Spilborghs in the outfield. Looks at a group that plays him the other way. 2 or 3 steps for Chris Young in center. Even with the bag at third is Reynolds. And that one is lifted into the seats. Like a split finger or a cut fastball that just stayed up in the zone.
I think it was a breaking ball that just stayed up in the zone.
There's the defense.
Gas. That one didn't stay up in the zone.
Oh, Gracie, there you go.
What we got? Oh, yeah, they know. That's what Dan Haren just showed Spilborghs. See if he throws it again. No, a little cutter didn't get it.
1-2 the count. And Haren making career start number 158. 65 wins, 55 losses. The 1-2. Split fingered fastball there, and Snyder knows he's got to block it up. 2-2 the count.
And usually when Haren misses with one of those on 1 and 2, he comes right back with it. Let's see if he throws it again or if he changes his mind or changes his pattern.
Fastball in, broke his bat. And so Spilborghs reaches. A couple of singles in this game.
Jeff Baker.
There's one of those maple bats helicoptering over near the Diamondback dugout, but it's a leadoff base hit.
A couple of things behind the man for Dan Haren. Favorite road ballparks. Those are two of my favorites as well. Captain Crunchberries and Peter Gallagher or B.J. Novak. B.J. Novak from The Office, I believe. And Peter Gallagher is what, the OC?
Been a character actor for many years, Peter Gallagher.
While you were sleeping? All right, let's see. Which one? Which one, Gracie? You
About
like?
what?
Which one is closer?
As far as looks?
Uh-huh.
Novak. What about you?
I'm going to go with
Gallagher?
yes. Vote Gallagher. Oh, that's right. We're not doing that. Jeff Baker grounded out to third. Or as they like to call him in Denver, Jeff Baker, the home run maker.
Well, they do.
That one is away.
He's homerless this year.
So not making home runs this year.
Well, he's swinging a candlestick so far this year. Comes in hitting 71.
But that candlestick is made of ash.
And that, Mr. Baker, makes you very high on my list of ball players.
Was there a lot of maple with regard to bats back when you played?
Well, towards the end.
Not
yeah.
as if you played 50
towards
years
the
ago.
end. Towards the end of my career, yeah. Once other, Louisville Slugger had the market cornered for most of the time. Then some of the other bat companies came on and the maple started really showing up. A lot of guys really fell in love with it.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. I didn't, but I just,
Is it a denser wood?
Well, some guys say, it's better wood, it's harder wood. I didn't think so.
Runner goes. The throw by Snyder is not in time. Kicks away, and so Drew will make sure he corrals it. Spilborghs, his first stolen base of the year.
Well, sometimes you got to take some chances when you're facing an ace. I like the fact that Hurdle's putting runners in motion, taking some chances. With the heart of the order coming up, Baker now becomes a very big batter in this game.
That one into the seats it goes. Chris Snyder, by the way, before that stolen base at 38%, still 3 thrown out in 9, 33%. That's above average. 29% last season for Chris, put him in the 4th spot in the National League. That's something a catcher will tell you they pride themselves in, helping their pitcher as much as they can. Had a big jump, though. Don't forget, the Giants are in town this Friday. Game time at 6:40 at Chase Field. Stick around for some post-game fireworks, courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Tickets to the ball game start at just $5. Get tickets by calling 602-514-8400. or visit dbacks.com. Keeping this promo sheet over here with me on my side.
I see you ball hog that promo, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I'd love to told the fine folks at home about some fireworks.
The 3-2. Bouncing ball. I won't get the runner over, which is a good thing for Dan Haren. Couple of ground outs off the bat of Jeff Baker, and here's Todd Helton with a runner in scoring position.
First baseman Todd Helton.
Helton this year, as he strides toward the plate, his 12th at bat, make it 13th with runners in scoring position. He's 4 for 12 out of the gates.
Right back in there with the cutter. He was successful with Helton. His first at bat, broke his bat and got an easy ground ball. Went right back in there again.
Remind us, though, what got him to that cutter.
Well, over the course of the at bat in the first inning with Helton was he threw a couple of off-speed pitches, a split finger and a breaking ball to the outside corner, and that got Helton thinking away and soft. Next thing you know, he buzzed right underneath his hands with a cut fastball at 90 miles an hour and just ate him up.
That one is away. And the reason I ask you about that, Gracie, is you young pitchers out there, understand the mind of Dan Haren. He clearly remembers that last ground out.
Oh, of course.
And he tried to step ahead of Helton, thinking he probably doesn't think I'll throw him the same pitch, but he did to start him off.
And this is a great matchup because it's one of the smarter hitters and smarter pitchers locking horns here in a big situation.
Coaches like to call that the keep them close move. There are times when a guy will hop out in that secondary lead and get way off the bag, and Helton has proven that we know he can drive it in the seats. He did that, but in this situation,
he's just trying to get a base hit.
That's exactly right. He'll just find a hole, and if you can keep the man close at second, might be able to prevent a run. There's that breaking ball.
Outside corner. Beautifully done. From behind Dan Haren, you just see, golly, what do you do with that if you're a hitter, Dan? Take it for strike two. That's all you can do.
So is it the split now?
Well,
is it a cutter in?
I think split would be a good pitch here. I think it would be an out pitch for him. He went with the fastball and missed.
It's fun, isn't it, watching these two?
I love watching these two.
You can see Haren.
A recent great pitcher against a long-time great hitter.
Two. Outside, 3-2 the count. Interesting to look at the defense. Young in the outfield is swung around trying to close the gap a little bit in left center. You can see the area of grass that he's worn out playing straight up.
Well, he's missed with a couple of fastballs away, Darren. I'm thinking either cutter in or split. Let's see what Chris Snyder wants. He's going inside, now back out.
He is so stubborn, and you know what was fun about that, folks? The man sitting to my right was inside of Todd's head. We got to experience that last pitch.
He's thinking inside. He got it to the outside corner, or else he was looking split. Yeah, I think he was looking split and got a fastball blown right by him.
Is that what you were looking for? A split?
Helton and I were on the same page.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Helton and I would have struck out as well. Trust me. Doggone you, Dan. You got me again. That's the thing. That's what makes him great. You can't think with him.
3 straight fastballs away.
You can't
3 in
think
a row
with him. I rarely want to think with a pitcher. Trust me. But I would be scratching my head right now if I'm Todd Helton. Golly, he's never done that to me before. Well, he did that time.
Look forward to their next battle.
You can see he is one unhappy hombre.
And again, the inning comes to an end. For the second time, a line out by Atkins. Oh, these two will lock horns again soon.
You Can Eat section. The Arizona Liberator Group is in town, a group of World War II veterans that get together every year to talk about old times in World War II, and this year they have chosen the all-you-can-eat section to come out and have lunch, and we are pleased to be joined by a World War II vet with us right now, Bill Kohler, who has some amazing stories. You just saw the B-24 Liberators that he flew in World War II and was shot down. Bill is the author of the book, The Last Mission, and has so many amazing stories. Bill, if you could just share with us the story that you were sharing with me off camera about when you were shot down and had to make your way back to safety in enemy territory.
Well, we got hit with an air-to-air rocket over the target, and it knocked out number 3 and 4 engines. So we stayed in the air maybe 10-15 minutes on 2 engines, and we came to a mountain that was 7,000 feet, and we were at 6,000, so we got the bail.
You had to parachute out, right?
Yeah, and we had to parachute out. As I was getting ready to parachute out, 2 ME-109s came in on us, and I shot at them, and I shot both of them down. And I turned around, and there was nobody else left in the back of the plane, and I promptly bailed out.
And you spent 30 days behind enemy lines, is that correct?
Yes.
How did you get back to safety?
Well, it was great difficulty. The Germans were after us on several occasions. They caught us in the valley and machine gunned us, killed my co-pilot, shot a leg off my pilot, and from there things just kind of got worse.
Well, we are glad that you were here and glad that you were taking in the baseball game with us. This is your book, The Last Mission. We thank you so much for your service to this country. And this book has been in print since '03, but you can pick it up in your bookstore, right?
You should be able to. If you can't, they can write me. The address is in there.
The address is it's published by Inkwell Productions. If you'd like to learn more about the Arizona Liberator Group, you can log on to the arnettinstitute.org. These B-24 Liberators will be out at the Glendale and the Scottsdale Airport this weekend. You can see the airplane that Bill flew and was shot down in across enemy lines in World War II. Guys?
Yeah, very good stuff, Mark McClune, and thank him for his service as that breaking ball is a strike.
Man.
Yeah, a friend of the show, Mike Macaluso, was on board today. Tim and Willie, you know our good buddies, yeah. Tim and Willie, turned me on to that story this morning, a B-24 flyover. And as he mentioned, that World War II display at Glendale and Scottsdale airports. And so the count 2-2. Worth taking a trip, Mark Grace. Seen some of those beautiful planes.
Maybe tomorrow on our off day.
Sounds good to me. The 2-2. Breaking ball, that's strike 3. There you go.
Left fielder Connor Jackson.
One of the Glendale and the Scottsdale airports, part of American history. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Those planes that had those teeth on them. Remember those? Those are bigly.
The Flying Tiger as the breaking ball is a strike to Connor Jackson. And all of a sudden, that's come out of his back pocket a little bit more.
Yeah, he's got good command of his off-speed stuff. And he's got the D-backs eating right out of his hands. You can see that's a good changeup. He's got the breaking ball going right now. You know, when a guy like this who has great stuff but iffy command, when he gets all 3 going, man, they can just be a freight train.
Connor. And that is a foul ball. It's nice footwork, fancy footwork out
Very
there.
Good footwork.
Got a baby. It's well done. Watch this.
Get away from me. Nice.
High fly ball, deep left. Smith going back to the wall. He's got it. He had just enough room as Connor Jackson with the bid for number 2 of the year. Just one hit for the Diamondbacks through 3. Be a question here at Chase Field in this scoreless ball game. Glad to have you hanging out with us, by the way. In 17 seasons, I won 4 Gold Gloves and was a 6-time All-Star. Who am I? Well, I could be Todd Helton. I could be Mark Grace. 17 seasons, so it's neither one. 4-time Gold Glover, you, correct?
Yes, sir.
How many seasons in the big leagues?
For me?
Yes.
16.
16 seasons.
13 with the Cubs, 3 with the Diamondbacks.
How many times were you an All-Star?
Guess.
5.
You're being very generous. 3.
Oh, well, I know you were an All-Star with Mr. Bobby Cox at one point.
2 with Bobby, 1 with Felipe Alou when he was the manager of the Montreal Expos.
That would have been the, what, 95 All-Star game?
That was it. I was never elected, I was selected. That S is a big difference. I think the highest I ever came in the voting was like 4th. Good pitch. Ooh, didn't get the call.
Body language shows he disagrees with that one, no doubt. Well, he's really not. 3-1. Of course he is.
Classy fan there.
And that is ball 4.
Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki.
Speaking of All-Star games, don't forget about the game in 2011 right here at Chase Field. Full-time season ticket holders will have the best opportunity to purchase All-Star summer ticket packages. 602-462-4600 or visit dbacks.com. Strike 1, Troy Tulowitzki. 17 years, 4 Gold Gloves, and what was it, guys? 6 All-Star games? 6 All-Star games. That's the question, Mark Grace. Ian.
I was busy getting myself a soda, so I didn't see the question or hear the question. So you're on your own on this one.
That was it. It was not a question. It's called the Aflac Trivia Question. It was a sentence, statement.
Sounds to me like I picked a good time to go get a soda.
One and 1 the count. It actually was correct. It was a question. In 17 seasons, I won 4 Gold Gloves and was a 6-time All-Star. Who am I?
Well, Don Baylor, but he didn't win Gold Gloves, did he?
I don't know if he won 4 of them. That is a clue. The 1-2 split-fingered fastball, and he got it.
Don Baylor spent, as you see that beautiful split finger. I got it, Darren. Because of that clue. Don Baylor spent a lot of time with the Baltimore Orioles, so once again, the trivia answer is Bobby Grich.
Is it?
It is.
Yes! Well done, Bobby Grich. A real big friend of show. Boy, it's been a great couple of days for Mark Grace. Just ask him. Bobby Grich, of course, the second Diamondback visiting player to hit a ball in the pool.
Yes, he did. Not A-Rod. It was not A-Rod.
Swings through it. 0-1 the count. And it became a bit of a bit, if you will, a conversation last night. The name Bobby was thrown out there for fun, and we decided to insert him permanently when we realized the actual answer was wrong. That one is fouled back. This was called a ball hit into the pool. Second ever.
You be the judge, folks.
Let us know when it gets in the pool. Just let us know.
So that has been brought down. It's no longer in the archives as the second ball in the pool because it didn't go in the pool.
Bouncing ball, can they get two? Lopez, Drew, on to first, the throw is high. So Ionetta reaches on a fielder's choice.
Boy, you hate to see those double plays not get turned. Stephen Drew clears himself. He just launches it. So what was a routine double play ball ends up being that extra base runner in that fourth out now with Seth Smith. Even though he's struggled this year, he's got big power. So any mistake, Seth Smith can hurt you.
Walked back in the second inning.
Sound like Sylvester the Cat. Seth Smith.
She sells seashells by the seashore. That's the exercise that Cindy Brady recommended I try. And it helps me with Seth Smith. The 0-1. Line the other way, as you were saying, base hit. So the inning goes on.
And now that clears for De La Rosa. So it's just little things that don't show up. That won't show up in the box score. But if he does retire De La Rosa, which you would imagine with his talent he would, but still it turns the lineup over for the next inning, and plus Dan Haren has to throw a few extra pitches.
Spilborgh's waits on deck. Outfield creeps in about 5 steps. And right back out there where he got him before. That's strike one. Dan Haren, with regard to run support, has received 1 run in 22 2/3 innings this season. 1 run.
Low Bundy bringing the outfielders in. Come on, Burnsy.
Strike 2.
If De La Rosa was standing on the other side of the plate, he still couldn't hit that ball. That's how far outside it is. He's taking full hacks at him. Go on out a little further, Dan.
Snyder, full set of signs.
He had his mind made up. He was taken.
That one, it's funny. That one could have been right down the middle, and it would have been strike 3. He's 0 for 4 this year. Look at that. Put the foot down.
He just, I'm not swinging.
There we go.
He just couldn't do it again, could he?
Dan Haren, shutout baseball. Let's get him some support. Back at the ballpark, let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Aflac! And it was a question, and a good one. In 17 seasons, I won 4 Gold Gloves, was a 6-time All-Star. Who am I? Aflac! Oh, I'm Darren Sutton's favorite angel, Bobby Grich, an infielder with the Orioles and the Angels. Played with Don Baylor in both stops. Played with Wally Joyner, with Rob Wilfong, Dick Schofield.
And I'll be honest, Darren Sutton, I was just playing around when I made that guess. I was just trying to be a little comical and talk about our stuff last night and got it right. Oh, Gracie. You are something.
Both home runs in this series for Mark Reynolds. He can slug it like Bobby Grich could. Bobby could drive it out.
Bobby could get it out of there.
Bobby Grich, Dick Schofield, Doug DeCinces, Wally Joyner, Brian Downing, Gary Pettis, George Hendrick, Rupert Jones platooning.
Fred Lynn.
Fred Lynn prior to that. A good-looking breaking ball.
And they've let De La Rosa settle right in, haven't they?
Bob Boone and his backup, Jerry Narron. '86 Angels, folks. That's what you're hearing about. The 0-2. That one is high. 1-2 the count. Young Chuck Finley learning his way. Mike Witt in that breaking ball. Gary Lucas.
Stop.
1-2 the count. Mark Reynolds, fly ball, right field. Don't forget, drive it out of here, folks. If a Diamondback homers this inning and hits the Gila River Casinos hit and win sign here in the 4th. One lucky fan watching on Fox Sports Arizona will win this afternoon's jackpot of $110,000. The jackpot grows by $10,000 every time the prize goes unclaimed. For official rules and information, visit dbacks.com/hit and win. Get it done. Off the end of the bat, Chad Tracy is erased on a 1-3 ground out front of that one. And of course, Reggie Jackson was the designated hitter.
Wasn't your dad on that team?
Yes, he was. I remember a few of those players.
Which was your favorite? Besides your dad, which was your favorite guy?
Wally Joyner.
Wally?
Wally Joyner. Bobby
Very
Grich was
good man.
second.
Very good man. Wally Joyner. Even though he went to BYU, he's still a good man.
Big rival, I take it.
Oh, yeah. Big San Diego State rival. I had to play against him in college. Him and Corey Snyder were on the same team. Man, they were good.
Chris Young, 1-1 the count. So Wally can hit a little bit in college?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, him and Corey Snyder on the same team. Shortstop and first baseman. And in Provo, Utah, where you're about 7,000 feet above sea level, yeah, they hit some balls out of sight.
1-1 the count. Popped up, long run. Brad Hawk, he is there, and he puts it away. That is 7 in a row, sat down by Jorge De La Rosa. You remember Rob Wilfong as well.
I do. Good left-handed hitter.
taking a peek up high. Let's take a look at our APS rooftop solar cam. And a perfect time with the roof closed on this warm day to remind you to install solar panels on your roof. Our good friends and partners with APS. Daniel John Haren, yet another masterpiece we are witnessing as he continues to grind along, pitching a fabulous baseball game. Has scattered 4 hits, has stranded 6. Working on a shutout, and he buries one in to Stillborns. There to make the play is Eric Burns, 1 out. You look at the Firestone leaderboard with regard to earned run average in the National League. Boy, Paul Mahalam, I'll tell you, there's Dan Haren at 157, and as he works right now, that's what it is through 4 innings.
Number 3 in the league. Yet winless, and 4 more shutout here today thus far. Johan Santana throwing the ball great in New York. Kind of a surprise there as left-handed for Pittsburgh. Paul Mahalam.
Pirates having a great year so far.
They just swept the red-hot Fish. Nice pitch there. Haren didn't get it again. You can see he is just disgusted right now with that call from Dale Scott.
1 run in 23 innings worked by the all-star right-hander. Cut fastball. Got to get him a strike somehow. He didn't go there either, I guess. Boy, pretty close. 3-0. Dan Haren from 2006 until now, 73 quality starts. 2nd highest total in Major League Baseball. Only Johan Santana better. And in that club, listen to these names. There's Santana, there's Haren, then there's Oswalt and Peavy, and Sabathia and Webb. And Haren above all those guys. Bouncing ball, Stephen Drew ranges, off balance throw, not in time.
Well, Stephen Drew just couldn't get enough on this throw to get the streaking Baker. 1 bounce, and that's a good call over there by first base ump Jerry Meals. Fox Sports Arizona's Community Spotlight recognizes the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. We'll be a part of the Relay for Life on Saturday, May 2nd at Ironwood High School. If you want to participate or just donate, please go to www.relayforlife.org for more info or to find a relay in your community.
Thank you, Mark Grace. Here's the matchup we've been looking forward to for a couple of innings. Again, it is Dan Haren against Todd Helton. He buried a fastball in, got a ground out, and then struck him out with a fastball away in the 3rd inning. So where does he start? A fastball away. He has taken the pitch from the previous at bat, the out pitch, and made it the first pitch of the next at bat both times.
That's what he's done, and that one he looked like he just trying to put some sink on it and get the ground ball, get out of this inning.
Doesn't get that call. It looked like it was off the plate. Helton up for the battle. Well, look at that face. If that doesn't tell a story.
Well, that's part of hitting. When you're facing a great pitcher, if you can lay off a couple of close ones and get to a 2-0 count, you're ahead of the game.
Does he see a fastball on 2-0? Yep. And he beat him with it.
And he missed it. He's still got that off speed in his mind, Dan. And it's very rare you see an opposing pitcher outthink and get in the head of Todd Helton. He's one of the smartest hitters in the game and has been for years. And he is just absolutely confused with what's going on today. Fastball middle, belt high, and he's late because he's thinking just maybe off speed.
And why do you think he's thinking about it, folks? It's because Dan Haren will throw it 2-0.
We've seen it today many times. And Don Baylor saying, "No, Bobby Grich would have hit that."
That's a great shot right there, those two having that discussion. Talk about two superstar hitters. Runner goes, big jump, throw down. He stole that one on Danny. Spielborg's with a stolen base in the third, and now Baker. Both of those you can hang on Haren just a little bit. Big jump.
Yeah, huge jump. No chance for Snyder there. And I like Clint Hurdle doing that, taking the chances against guys like Dan Haren and the great ones. You have to take some chances. You just can't expect to put 3 and 4 hits in an inning against these kind of guys.
Fastball in for the third straight at bat. Garrett Atkins strands a runner in scoring position. Do it, Dan Haren, do it.
Need some offense to do it.
Kidscaster because I've been in Arizona a while. My mom made me move to Colorado, but there's a lot of Rockies fans, and I can't be a Rockies fan. I think I was born a D-backs fan, and I think I'm going to die as a D-backs fan.
And Tyler will be joining us in the booth on Sunday, our Kidcaster this month. A lot of good things to say there, didn't he?
I loved it. Looking forward to meeting him.
Very anti-Colorado Rockies. Eric Burns, fly ball, left field, set. Smith still going. He's got it. Nice play. That one off the sweet spot for Burns, but hoping maybe it would grab some grass.
Well, we're here in the 5th inning. Diamondbacks have got one hit, Darren Sutton. That was by the man that just flied out to Seth Smith. That was Eric Burns. So De La Rosa following in a long line of left-handed starters this year for the Diamondbacks, or for Diamondback opponents, and that is just dominating.
Over the outside corner, that is strike one. Snyder struck out back in the 2nd inning. De La Rosa in his career, 66 starts, 100+ appearances, an ERA of 5.52. As that one bounces in there. His last outing, he did pull it together against the Dodgers. In a no decision, a game eventually that the Rockies lost, he went 5 1/3 shutout baseball. The trouble, the walks. He walked 4 and gave up 5 hits. A mile high. And in the back. And in foul territory. Don't forget, buy 10 tickets in any combination of games and seats for just $120 plus get a $10 gift card. Call 602-462-4600 or visit dbacks.com. Parents rent, college tuition, spending student loan money, and skipping class. There we go.
Now we're talking.
And Haren said, I'll just take care of things myself. He lined the ball to center that was taken away by Spilborghs and out in the second. Would have drove in a run. Now he picks up a hit.
Well, when you want something done, Darren, what do?
You do it yourself.
And that's exactly what Dan Haren has done. You offensive guys aren't going to hit him. I will.
How about this? These two guys now. Well, that's a great shot, isn't it?
It really is.
Playing off of our theme.
Well, mutual respect.
Helton probably had a little rib for him out of the gates. Here's Felipe Lopez. Well, you look forward to this man getting an opportunity because a walk and a strikeout still lead Felipe Lopez in his last 10 games with 17 hits. Breaking ball is high.
Well, that's the thing. When a pitcher hasn't been in the stretch in a long time, Darren, a lot of times it can foul him up a little bit. Let's see if he gets a ball up to Felipe that he can drive somewhere in the gap. Well, he's 2-0 now.
The Diamondbacks a better night against left-handed pitching last night. But on the year, Arizona hitting 188 against left-handed pitching overall. And 247 against righties. Lopez, topper, gobbled up by Atkins. The throw, and Helton stays on the bag. Another empty inning for the D-backs. Me. That's enough of that. The Ride Now Power Sports Pool Cam and our good friends and partners with Ride Now Power Sports. I tell you, I will say this in all seriousness, it was a good place to be last night, a great venue to enjoy a ball game.
Absolutely.
Also a look ahead at what's brewing the upcoming series, brought to you by Miller Lite. All the games on Fox Sports Arizona, the Giants and the Diamondbacks. And certainly, we're seeing the D-backs getting it going. We'll see out at the ballpark at night in your living room. Lincecum, Johnson, and Kane. Davis, Scherzer, and Garland.
Work cut out for the Diamondbacks with that trio of starters for the Giants. They need to start answering some challenges. That's what all competitors want. Welcome a challenge. Huh, Darren?
Yes. He certainly has welcomed it, number 15, all season. He's answered the bell and been fabulous. That pitch is high from Dan Haren. Dan's last 8 starts, including today, his ERA is 2.16.
Yeah.
Swings right through that one. 2.16 in his last 8 starts. One and two the count. That pause up top. He wheels and deals. Bouncing ball. Lopez spins, throws, got him.
Wow, what a play. What a play by Felipe Lopez to his left. This is a ball that Chad Tracy, I thought, was going to go for. Instead, he went to the bag. Look at the range from Lopez and the throw right on the button to get Hop. Whoa, what a play.
Mark McLuhan standing by. A little bit more on Dan Haren. Big Mac?
Yeah, a little bit more on Dan Haren and Dan Haren Sr. The entire Haren family is part of a big project going on in Scottsdale right now. Dan Haren Sr. was on our pregame show yesterday. Part of our game show, he was a winner, but promoting the Miracle League of Arizona. It's building a baseball field in Scottsdale for kids with special needs. They've already raised a lot of money for it. And it's really a great project. If you'd like to learn more, just log on to mlaz.org to help out some kids with special needs play baseball, because Dan Haren Sr. said one of his great joys as a father was seeing his son play baseball, and now parents that have kids with special needs can see their children play baseball as well.
Oh, that's great. As that one cuts away, and mlaz.org. Love watching Challenger League, Little League Baseball. And a good job there by the Haren family.
Wow.
Over the outside corner, that's strike 3.
And that's 3 times for Troy Tulowitzki. That's just a pitcher's perfect pitch right there. Fastball right on the outside corner. Dale Scott rings it right up.
That's the hat trick for Troy as well. As Gracie was saying, 84 pitches, he is fine. Here's Chris Iannetta. Same
pitch.
spot, you bet.
Always fun to watch.
ERA just keeps going down.
Cutter. He's got them all working. Both pitchers just very impressive today.
So think about that. You throw a pitch on the black twice. One to Tulowitzki, one to Iannetta. You throw the same pitch on the black, knowing, though, it would dive away and that the hitter would swing. It's beautiful. And he goes out there again. I mean, Gracie, am I correct? I mean, if you're Iannetta, you see it coming in. Oh, boy, it's out there in the corner. I got to swing at it this time.
Well, that's the thing about having 2 different fastballs, one that comes back towards you and one that goes away. The hitter just sees fastball, not sure which one it is.
Switch-fingered fastball bounces in there. As Haren works, his ERA is 1.46 now on the season. The right-hander out of Pepperdine on 2-2. That's strike 3. What an outing this afternoon for Dan Haren. Sticking it to the Colorado Rockies. Unfortunately, though, for number 15, he's tied at zeros. Diamondbacks, the 10th inning. Presented by Quest and hosted by, well, a good man, Todd Walsh. It debuts this Sunday at 4 and in 10 in high definition, only on Fox Sports Arizona. Chip Hale, of course, his opportunity last winter to interview for the job with the Seattle Mariners. A prideful thing, I'm sure, for these Arizona Diamondbacks to swing in the approach of Mark Reynolds and a truly devoted D-backs fan. All right, Gracie.
Is it time?
It is time.
I think it's time. Boy.
What a hammer.
It's kind of tough to beat time when a guy's throwing the ball like this.
He overthrew that one a bit, although I think that was more of the slider, and he followed up the curveball with the slider. Well, I told you, I've seen this part, Gracie. I've seen him do this before, but just not consistently at all. Steven with the fastball there, couldn't catch up.
Yeah, they've been, in his career, very few and very far between.
Lefty on lefty here, and the 1-2 got him. Dropped down a little bit. That breaking ball started away and disappeared. So Drew is 0 for 3. Pop up and a couple of strikeouts.
Connor Jackson.
All right. Here we go.
This time for sure.
This time. Here's Connor Jackson. Fly to right field. Fly to left field. His fly out to left field should be explained. Seth Smith went to the wall, put that glove up in front of the yellow stripe. And otherwise, it would have been extra bases for Connor Jackson, about a foot shy of a home run. De La Rosa has yet to give up a home run this year as that changeup misses away. 2-0 the count. Righties hit .285 this season against De La Rosa and slug about 70 points higher at .470. Boy, good pitch. My, oh my. 2-1.
Just busted him inside.
The 2-1. That one is low. 3-1 the count.
Now he should get a fastball to hit here. Let's see if Connor can put a charge in one. Something for extra bases, maybe. Wow.
The 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4. These Diamondbacks trying to shake the bug that is struggles against southpaws. Bob Melvin recently talked about that.
We were talking all along about, you know, the tough righties getting some left-handed bats in there against. I'm shocked that we are where we are against left-handed pitching. We thought that would be a strength, and it still should be. But we haven't gotten off to a very good start. I think we're hitting like 140-something against left-handers, and what are we, 0-5, 0-4 against them? That's not something we anticipated.
Now, again, they did find their offense against lefties last night, but one game. And they will tell you they expect more. Bob said it perfectly. Quick jump on the move. Connor Jackson. He just swiped it. What a great idea. And more importantly, the execution for Connor, his second stolen base.
Well, Bob Melvin, his turn to say, you know what, I'm going to have to start taking some chances.
Yeah.
First move. Off he goes. Great jump. Iannetta makes a great throw. But Connor stole it. I like that. I like aggressiveness when you're struggling to score runs on a day when the guy's got his ace stuff. Man, take some chances.
All right, here we go.
You ready?
The 1-0. Inside, 2-0 the count.
De La Rosa wanted that one, didn't get it from Dale Scott.
Mark Reynolds, 3 home runs of his 4 hits with runners in scoring position. He is 4 for 9 in this series. Ground ball, base hit, Connor. They're going to stop it.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Mark Reynolds bouncing up and down at first base, hoping he may have just given the Diamondbacks the lead. So runners are on first and third. Reynolds continues to roll in the series, his 5th hit.
You can see Reynolds. Oh, I can't believe they stopped him. The ball was bobbled out there in left field.
And so now, Chad Tracy. There is 1 out. Stephen Drew struck out to start this inning.
And that's the risk. Chip Hale, you're putting your trust now in Chad Tracy. Chad Tracy is flown out and grounded back to the pitcher. There you see the bobble. And of course, Chip Hale can't anticipate the bobble. But Connor Jackson's at third base. And we just hope for something besides a strikeout or a double play.
Chad 1 for 9 this year against lefties, but as we said, since the middle of last summer, he has really handled them. Legs under him, a lot stronger. That's another big difference this year. Can use the whole diamond against lefties. That one's away. 1-0 the count. Chris Young waits on deck.
And that's what you do. Lay off those good sliders. Get ahead. If you can lay off of them, you'll get a fastball to hit. Sometimes the key to hitting the off-speed pitch, Darren, is laying off of it.
Scoreless ball game.
Oh, man, he took a fastball down the middle. That's twice now Chad Tracy's had some runners in scoring position. Got a fastball down the middle and just took it.
And then boxed that one, but it was called a strike, and it was down the heart.
Which tells me he's looking slider.
See if Chad can drive one into left center field here. Pitch out over the plate. Iannetta and De La Rosa thinking a little bit about the base runner.
Well, this is a good time for a hit and run. You've got a below average runner at the plate in Chad Tracy. Send the runner, get a little contact.
Bouncing ball. There is one on the first double play. Scoreless game. Again on his 4th start of the season. He is our prime time performer. Even though this is afternoon television, certainly a starring role, a leading man, no doubt about that, all season long. And he's helped himself out with his bat as well.
Well, just a crying shame that the Diamondbacks couldn't play the runner there.
Our Quest primetime performer. So he goes back to work again.
And now Dan Haren has to protect against a letdown of his own.
Well, that's a great point.
You know, you just think things are so promising. Runner can't score from second on a base hit. And then the left-handed hitter hits into a double play. You just hope Dan Haren doesn't get a letdown.
Left field, Connor Jackson. Perfectly placed pitch away, and nothing Seth Smith could do about it as he flies out. Here's the man who loves the pitch away, Jorge De La Rosa.
He loves swinging at it all right.
And he has been fabulous today. Make a play on a bunt, not a bad idea.
Mark Reynolds was about 40 feet from him. He said, heck with it, I'm going to try and bunt it anyway. I'm tired of swinging at that pitch 3 feet outside.
The peek at the defense for the D-backs. There you go.
Attaboy. Got some that ball was only about 8 inches outside, Darren. And he's going to have to get a new wand.
He went out there and got it. Don't forget, by the way, browse from the largest selection of team gear, official hats and t-shirts and jerseys and collectibles. Get team gear straight from the source. A very great read from Darren Sutton as we visit dbacks.com/shop.
It was a terrific read.
The 0-2. They're starting to get out there now, Grayson.
He needs to throw one about a foot and a half more outside, and he'll get the swing and miss he needs.
If he throws it to Rich Dower, the third base coach, then he'll get the swing.
He might get the check swing at least, yes.
The 0-2.
Wow. Split finger, and he was on it. Nicked it foul, making Dan Haren throw a few extra. When you're at 95 pitches, pitch count becomes paramount with Dan Haren. He has just been terrific. Fun to talk about. There you go. Back out about a foot and a half outside. That's been the go-to pitch to De La Rosa for Dan Haren. I mean, those are pitch outs. And he's taking full hacks at him. The ball's right there.
But imagine if he hits it.
Well, it's going to hit it right over the on-deck circle.
Here's Ryan Spilborghs. Cut fastball is away.
I don't think he could hit that with a long board.
Skateboard or surfboard?
Surf.
Okay. Off the end of the bat. Here comes Chris Young. It's a Texas leaguer out of the man from UC Santa Barbara, Ryan Spilborghs. And here is Jeff Baker. He was 1 for 3 today with a stolen base.
Spilborghs broke a bat. He's over there shaking his head like, man, he's got 3 hits today, kind of all in the same fashion. Don't ever shake your head about those. Jump for joy. Now Dan Haren, you know, and that's the thing when you're in a 0-0 pillow fight like this, Darren, every pitch is huge. Every out is huge.
I like that term, by the way.
You like that? Is it a keeper?
It's a keeper. We certainly, when we talk about maybe the Diamondbacks' frustrations offensively, at this point in the game, take nothing away from Jorge De La Rosa.
Not at all.
And the ball game he has thrown.
Yeah, Dan Haren and De La Rosa have been terrific. Oh, look at that. Pitch number 99 right on the outside, black.
That's the key. I mean, to me, that's the key. Location and count combined there.
Right back to the outside corner again. Strike two.
So what he has done on a couple of occasions in this situation has gone out in the same spot but cut it, so it'll run and no chance he can make contact. Let's see if he does that. But just when you think you have him figured out, he changes gears.
He's one or two pitches ahead of every hitter. It seems like every time out.
And as he works here with 2 outs, his ERA on the season is 1.40.
It's one thing to have great stuff, but it's also even doubly important to be cerebral.
Pitch out there. I think one step ahead of Clint Hurdle. Or to use Gracie's analogy, to maybe drop a sneaker in that pillowcase.
Maybe a horseshoe.
Trying to shake things up. Runner stays put. He did go out there. Right in that same spot away, just after the pitch out. An incredible effort by Dan Haren.
Against a left-handed pitcher.
They are struggling again, but hopefully we can get something going, make our own splash in the later innings for Dan Haren to get a couple runs.
Yeah, guys, we'll see you after the game with Quest D-backs Live. Let's get some runs for Danny Haren.
I tell you what, it's time to get that going. Very good stuff. We'll look forward to hearing Zeke and Brad with their insights. Dan Haren has his batting glove on as he enjoys a bit of hydration. In other words, saying, I know I'm at 100 pitches and I know that I'm due up fourth, but
he's earned the right.
I'm staying in this game.
He's earned the right.
Unless you string together 3 straight solo shots, I'm staying in this game. And let's see.
And I'm almost positive Bob Melvin's going to reward him with that. Kind of depends on what the first 3 hitters do, obviously.
Clint Barmas is at second base for Jeff Baker in a 0-0 game. That is simply an offensive, or I should say a defensive upgrade. The 1-0. 1-1 the count, a changeup. Flutters over the outside. Tony Pena starts to play catch in the bullpen.
Well, Darren, up the California coast in San Francisco, the Padres and Giants are locked up in a scoreless pillow fight in the 8th inning.
Couple of them in the West, huh?
Yeah.
That one is Young and Zito. Chris Young, broken bat, it dies out there in left center field. All right, that's a start for Arizona. Young with his first hit, he is 1 for 3. His second hit in the series, 2 for 12 in this series.
Well, he just drops the head of the bat, gets it off the label, breaks his bat. That's another pretty good pitch there by De La Rosa. Sometimes good pitches end up with bad results, and that's the case. Chris Young will take it, a leadoff base hit. Now it's decision time for Bob Melvin. I don't think the bunt's in order here, Darren. I really don't, because you're towards the bottom of the order. But maybe a hit and run, maybe a stolen base, something to that effect. And yeah, Clint Hurdle smells a bit of a rat.
He should. Connor Jackson swiped a bag in the 6th. Unfortunately, the Diamondbacks couldn't cash it in. And in his career, De La Rosa working on the mound as a left-hander doesn't do a great job. 24% of the runners thrown out. And for a left-hander on the mound, that's a lot of success for base runners. Base runner stays put. An off-speed pitch. 0-1 the count to Eric. Burns doubled back in the 2nd inning and flied to left field. Rockies have 6 tallies, the D-backs with 4. Colorado is stranded 8, and thus far Arizona 5. Ian. And for Bob Melvin, as he manages this game, he does so still with De La Rosa out there, because he has been efficient as well. 86 pitches as he works now. Inside, rushing a bit to the plate, 2-1 the count.
Very naive. You've turned him into a fastball pitcher here, and this is also a good pitch. You're hoping he can throw something for a strike and maybe put Chris Young on the move. Good hit and run count, 2-1. Nice job by Eric Burns. Call timeout. Don't let him hold the ball on you like that.
And to explain what Gracie's talking about, that wasn't an indecisive pitcher. When he came set, he knew exactly what he was going to do. Not move.
Well, he's trying to see if Chris Young will tip his hand. See if he's leaning at all. Step out, protect your base runner that way by stepping out, and then also take a deep breath. This is winning time right here, Darren. Bottom of the 7th, you're running out of outs. Both teams are. You got a leadoff base runner. You got the count in your favor. This is what that 0-1 team, Matt Williams, all of us, situations like this, we called it's winning time.
Popped up, left field. A long run for Smith. And there's one out.
Well, this is a off-speed pitch that hangs belt high. Oh, goodness. Well, those are ones you just make your living with, and unfortunately Eric Burns missed it.
Right now, Roberts has a bat. Ryan Robertson is in the on-deck circle. See what happens with regard to the decision the skipper makes. Haren had thrown 103 pitches. This is his 4th start of the season. Seven shutout innings with 9 strikeouts for Dan and just 2 walks. ERA is 1.38. And in 26 innings of work, 1 run of support this season. Chris Snyder picks up his battery mate, Chris Young, with an aggressive turn. But he stays put at second base, so that'll do it for Dan Haren.
Well, that was one you maybe wanted to see Chris Young take a chance and try for third with 1 out. He decided to play the safe route. Ball's not hit all that hard and a great speed. You're thinking Chris Young just might have been able to make it to third, but he decides to play it safe. And if he can't make it, then just about nobody on the ball club can.
All right, Ryan, a big opportunity, young man.
And Darren, just one more time. I know we've been saying it all day, but boy, tip of the cap once again to one Dan Haren. What a great job he did. Ryan Roberts has to hit for him. You can't expect Dan Haren to go up there and do what he's done. 100 pitches in. Brian Price probably telling him exactly what we're saying. What another fabulous job, number 15.
In on his fist, and it's down. Chris Young out front, racing on around. Roberts watches the throw go to third, heads into second, and Ryan Roberts gets it done.
And he is fired up, and so is Dan Haren in that dugout.
It's a run, Danny.
First pitch he sees, bam, over the second baseman's head. De La Rosa can't believe it. And then the great base running as well, getting to second base on the throw to third.
And you bet that's a cool play. Chaz Roberts' cool play. A big, big run. A lot of baseball left to be played. Love that base running, Gracie. And that
Love
reaction.
the base running. That reaction tells you what it's about. These guys, they're dying to do something for Dan Haren. Are you kidding me? Finally got done. An intentional walk here to Felipe Lopez. Great base running by Chris Snyder going first to third, drawing the throw. Ryan Roberts never stopping, getting to second base.
Mark McClune down by the Diamondbacks. Mark?
Yeah, the sense of relief down here kind of encapsulates the entire season with Dan Haren finally getting a run today. Mark Reynolds just walking up and bear hugging Haren as the Diamondbacks take the lead, and number 15 now in line for the win.
Well, you don't stop now.
No, sir.
You don't be satisfied with one stinking run. These Colorado Rockies showed last night they're not afraid to come back. They came back from 3 down late in the ball game last night. So now it's time for Stephen Drew to take this intentional walk in front of him personal. Great hitters usually do that, Darren. And Stephen Drew, well, at least last year, was a great hitter, and he's still the same guy. So you know he's going to be a great hitter. And you take this personal. Oh, really? You're going to intentionally walk that guy in front of me? I'm going to make you pay.
So Steven digs in with that in mind. Tony Pena will be the hurler for the Diamondbacks. Steven 0 for 3 today. De La Rosa had 94 pitches. The bases are loaded. Outside with the breaking ball. More extra base hits than any shortstop in Major League Baseball last season.
Well, with the bases loaded, by taking that first breaking ball, he probably talked himself into a fastball here from De La Rosa. He doesn't want to miss and go 2-0. He got it and he missed it. Oh, baby. And he takes that first breaking ball, makes him a fastball pitcher. Boy, he got the pitch he wanted. Took the pass at it that he wanted, and all he could do was foul it.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Haren looking on and looking for more. A hanger.
And by missing that fastball, Darren, that's what you get. You get him right back into that breaking ball mode. That was a pretty good one to take a whack at, but it still buckled Steven. And I would imagine another one's coming here, Darren. Wouldn't you?
Yes. Snyder, Roberts, Lopez, load him up.
Need some contact. There was the slider. Nice job by Ionetta blocking it up.
And we'll talk more about it, but another reason you don't accept more is you have a bullpen still figuring out who they are. Diamondbacks bullpen, as they get ready to go to work, has an ERA of 6.80, the highest in the National League.
So really, you need, wouldn't hurt to get a bunch more. Get greedy.
The 2-2. Topper, foul ball. With another breaking ball.
Isn't it amazing that one fastball that he got to hit that he fouled back? Every pitch since then has been the breaking ball. But now for Stephen Drew, you're just going into battle mode. Will yourself to success. Take it personal that they intentionally walk the guy in front of you. And make a tired pitcher throwing his 100th pitch pay a dear price. That's the attitude you have to have.
2-2. Got it. Like he pulled the string on an off-speed pitch. Stephen well out front. 3 strikeouts in the ballgame. Clint Hurdle says that's enough. De La Rosa will keep the ball game and the base runners and hand them to the man of a relief pitcher. We'll step aside here at Chase Field. Arizona has one. They're certainly desperately looking for more. Very, very good. An exceptional outing today, handcuffing the Diamondbacks. 4 walks. One of them coming in this inning to Felipe Lopez. And speaking of very good, he hands it over, or Altel call to the bullpen, to a reliever who has been incredible as well.
He's been incredible. He got a bout of wildness here last night. Went a third of an inning, walked a couple. He starts by falling behind Connor Jackson, who's probably got the best eye as far as the strike zone and controlling the strike zone as anybody on the team. Boy, could the Diamondbacks use a big 2-out hit.
One and oh the count.
Good pitch.
one goes, and the Rockets behind and then down below. And it's a souvenir. Bases loaded, 1-0 the score. The man standing at second base, Ryan Roberts, as a pinch hitter, picked up his teammate Dan Haren.
And then some. Boy, somehow, some way able to get a piece of that one. Shank it foul.
Well, what's been tough about Greeley and watching him, and the Diamondbacks have now seen the Rockies for their 6th game today, is that when he goes away like that, he has got an electric fastball that he'll bury in.
Well, he throws in the mid-90s. I mean, he throws hard. Just a matter of throwing quality strikes. And that's been his problem. And ever since he's gone over to Colorado late last year, he's had a lot of success. That's 94 miles an hour.
2-2 the count. Trying to work it to full. The 2-2 pitch to Connor. Hanging around.
Oh, right off the very Q-tip of the bat, and he stays alive. Just right off the very end of the bat. He lives to see another pitch.
Two and two with 2 outs. He's looking at his ERA out there on the field. 3 base runners. And the 2-2. A fastball is fouled off.
Connor giving him a heck of a battle here. Really? With the bases loaded. And an opportunity to provide some much needed breathing room for the Diamondback bullpen.
Pitch number 8 about to come home. Rockies bullpen ERA 5.98. Just a notch ahead of the D-backs. 2-2.
They're battling. Dan Haren's over in the dugout, pacing like an expectant father. Just ready for some good news. Connor Jackson trying to provide it here, right here. 2-2 pitch.
Here it comes. Slider, and he takes. Nowhere to put him. And they'll be on the move.
Let's see if the crowd gets excited about this. Come on, crowd, stand up. Yeah, they're starting to stand up. What a battle this has been.
Pitch number 10 about to come home. Crowd rises out of their seats. Runners go 3-2. Ball 4. He walked in a run. What an at-bat by Connor Jackson. The Diamondbacks lead it 2-0.
90% of hitters in the big leagues are going to swing and miss that pitch. It was a good slider. He was able to take it, and the expectant father got the good news. A bouncing baby run.
He needs more. He needs twins and triplets, quadruplets. Here's Mark Reynolds.
Mom and baby are doing just fine.
He can give you quadruplets with one swing of the bat.
Oof. No nonsense right there. Just fastball down the middle. Reynolds took a big mighty rip at it and came up empty.
Not only this game, the focus of this game, but this series. We talked about it early. Series. We talked about series as the first part of it. Got to win a series. They haven't done it so far this year.
I still think you need to get greedy here. Don't be satisfied with 2.
Low. Very close. 1-1.
It was almost like Iannetta, the catcher, kind of took that one out of the strike zone a little bit.
Certainly the power to homer, more so than anybody else in that Diamondbacks locker room, but he has never hit a grand slam. The 1-1.
What a pitch. Kind of what I was saying, Darren. 90% of those hitters will swing and miss that good slider like that. Connor Jackson was able to lay off of it. That was a dandy from Greeley.
The 1-2. Reynolds, high drive, right field. Up going back to the track, and he's got room. Well, the drama today has been about the starting pitcher. They both have stepped up. Jorge De La Rosa realizes now he's on the short end, and Haren thanks his teammates for the help. Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, and by Blippies, America's Sub Shop.
Leading off for Colorado, first baseman.
Back at the ballpark, Colorado and Arizona, brought to you by our good friends in this series with the Colorado Department of Tourism. Sure to take a trip up north when you get a little bit warm in the summertime. We like to. It's beautiful up there.
Todd Helton going to lead off for the Rockies. Probably very happy to see anybody besides Dan Haren on the mound. Well, they locked horns 3 times, and Dan Haren, one of the few that can say, I outsmarted and out-pitched the great Todd Helton. Boy, 2 close pitches, and all of a sudden, strike zone got very small.
See the numbers for Tony Pena, off to a nice start this year. Fouls that one off. Had a give and take that Haren had with Helton. That was worth the price of admission on its own.
And then the great camera shots of Helton frustrated in the dugout.
Frustrated again this time. It's Tony Pena with a fastball. On 2-1. He flipped that bat in the air. And days like this, there aren't many. You hope it's the last time you see him.
I mean, he's on the pitch. He's right there, and he's like, golly. Got underneath it. About 4 or 5 miles an hour extra fastball from Tony Pena. And it beat him just enough. And there he's talking to himself again. That's okay. Get hot next series there, Todd. gas.
Pena pours that one in there. And you look at the innings and the ball game, how it plays out, and you talk about the battles that you've had with the future Hall of Famer, and you look and you think to yourself, clearly, as that one is rolled, it's a foul ball. Great effort by Mark Reynolds. Quickly to finish the thought, you just hope you don't see Todd Helton again in this game.
Well, nothing makes a manager or a coach or a teammate happier or prouder than to see a guy die for a foul ball. Don't be the umpire. Let the umpire make the choice. Mike DeMuro over at third base. He's the third base umpire. Die for it anyway. See what happens.
Popped it up. I got it, I got it. We heard Chad Tracy. And he did.
Right fielder.
Buried that fastball in on Atkins. Got him right off the handle. 2 quick outs.
And now Brad Hall. Six hits for both of these clubs. Both have stranded 8. Just below the knees. 95. 1-0 the count. A little history there, some success and also some strikeouts. Oh, what a beautiful piece of hitting. Feeling like that bat might have died a happy death there. As it sounded like he got it a bit down off the end, but just a great approach.
Down off the end, fastball. Didn't try to pull it. Take what they give you is an old saying in baseball offensively. Fastball away, don't try to pull it. Take what he gives you. And now, just like that, the tying runs at the plate, and the former Troy Tulowitzki was happy to see anybody but Dan Haren on the mound. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against good old number 15.
Well, he was, and you can see the history that he has with Tony Pena. 4 for his last 26. Tulowitzki on this road trip. Ready to get home. Slider out. 2-0 the count.
Pena with back-to-back sliders. Fall behind 2-0. Chad Qualls getting loose. Hoping to not pitch here in the 8th inning. Hoping to start off fresh in the 9th after a scoreless inning by his comrade Tony Pena. Tulowitzki's got power. He's got 3 home runs this year. So you can't just lay it in there. Taking all the way.
This is a tough day for Tulo. Two to nothing the score. The 2-1 ground ball. Felipe is there. Fires in time for the out. Tony Pena gets it done for Tulowitzki. Ends the inning. I want to grab him his glove. You earn your worth by getting a big hit and then going down to the bullpen and warming up pitchers. And that's what you like. Meantime, Alan Embry takes the baseball. Our old tell call to the bullpen. What you don't see on that graphic, Mark Grace, is the fact that Embry is 71 years old.
He's been at it a long time.
He's a good man, I'll tell you.
He's a terrific guy, terrific pitcher. Had a great year with Oakland last year. Closed some games for them.
Had a solid career, and he's always thrown hard. That's been the calling card forever.
When he was with
and
the
ever.
Braves, when I used to face him with the Braves, I mean, he'd come in bringing it. Him and John Rocker from the left side. That wasn't much fun.
92, still can bring it in there. Could have a John Rocker mention as well on the air.
Well, he's everybody's favorite.
But Chad Tracy, he's got to be excited to see this lefty. Chad can turn a fastball around, though, from a lefty. So he sees a breaking ball.
Well, the word's out on Chad that he is a very good fastball hitter. So, what does he get? Hooks.
Fastball, fly ball, Spilboards. Puts it away. Stay tuned. And immediately after the ball game, we'll get it right to the right field studios of Quest Diamondbacks Live. Our thoughts on Dan Haren and other things looking ahead to the upcoming series with the Giants. Gracie and I, Bob Melvin, and player reaction. And Greg Swindell talks about the Diamondbacks offense as they try to piece together consistency. Stay with us.
Well, yeah. Probably should have me talk about Haren and Zeke talk about the offense. Makes sense.
Breaking ball. Inside 1-0. The good news, Mark Grace,
yes,
is after we do our segment,
yes,
we can leave. We don't have to stay until the end of the show.
You mean like last night?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
1-0. Did he? He did not. Three 3-0 the count. 7 hits for the Rockies, 6 for the D-backs. Rockies have stranded 9, Arizona 8. On 3-0. That's ball 4. Quick mention and a quick reminder, and certainly a thank you to the Diamondbacks, to Fox Sports Arizona, Peter Piper Pizza, all the great support from Gila River Casino, Sutton Strokes for the little folks, the golf tournament out at Whirlwind Golf Club. They've been incredible. Visit suttongolf.org for more information. And really, come at the end. We're going to have some great music. A friend of mine, Ryan McIntyre, has flown in to sing and play after, but we've sold out. And just want to thank you guys, and just thank FS Arizona for making the time, the airtime, and the promotions. And Mark Grace,
I'll be there.
I want to thank you for actually supporting a charity event that I do, unlike I have done for you, as that one is low.
Well, you could learn a lot from me, Darren. It is my pleasure.
Grace.
And it's a great cause. So I will be there. I won't have bells on, but I'll be there.
Oh, you shouldn't have bells on. You stunned me with your requesting information this morning.
I came uninvited. I'm going to come uninvited.
Which would be the...
Still haven't gotten an invite.
Which would be the exact opposite of your events where I am invited and I don't come.
A good 3 months in advance.
Yes, yes. But I get my basketball schedule about 3 months in advance as well.
Sorry, Gracie. Got to do SEC gymnastics.
Eric Burns went into the seats. Rattles around. Taking me back about a decade now with SEC gymnastics.
Nothing gets your...
How about some cross country?
That's always exciting.
Swimming and diving with Rowdy Gaines.
He was a good one.
He's no Mark Grace. Let's not kid ourselves. Pretty big league, though.
He was... You rendered me speechless, big boy. I love it.
SEC gymnastics. 1-1 the count to Eric Burns. So anyway.
What's tea time tomorrow?
We're going to shotgun at noon.
Straight up noon?
Straight up noon.
So if I get there a little early, maybe since it's an off day, have a Hawaiian punch or something?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Chris Young. Here's out. Caught stealing there, and that one goes 1-3-6.
Watch how quickly Helton gets rid of it. Right on the button. Took a perfect throw. I don't mind that, though. I like taking the chance there. Force the defense to make a play.
1-1 the count. Chad Qualls hoping to put this game to bed. That one popped into the seats. Oh, what a gymnastics program Georgia had. Big rivalry with Alabama.
LSU. Well, now.
Red Hawk went to LSU.
Yes, he did. He wanted me to go in the pool.
1-2 the count to Eric Burns. That one bounces in there. Skitters away a bit.
I know a lot of times my functions collide with your Mountain West rugby. Well, those running Utes in San Diego State, of course.
Well, I had a private plane I could get back in time for those events. 2-2. 2-0 the score. That one is low. 3-2 the count to Eric Burns. Usually Mountain West rugby, not in the budget. Chris Snyder. Snipe Beast, as the governor likes to call him. He waits on deck. The 3-2. High pop. Let's see. That one should remain playable. Garrett Atkins puts it away. The ninth inning belongs to Chad Qualls. 2-0 is the score. The Diamondbacks try to lock up a series right after this. talks off the bench. Rarely has the opportunity to pitch in, but did he ever? And I love that reaction.
Can't get enough of that.
And now the right-hander takes the baseball. The man who earned the job with a huge second half. Our all-tell call to the bullpen of Diamondbacks closer. Since August of last year, the 6th day of August, an ERA of 1.21 for Qualls. And the numbers abound beyond that since then.
You can't say enough of what Tony Pena did in the 8th inning. Went right through the heart of the Rockies' order. Now Chad Qualls comes in. He'll face 7, 8, and 9. But the last 3 outs are always the most difficult, Darren Sutton.
You could see Augie Ojeda at third base. Diamondbacks defensively making that move. And if Chad isn't striking him out, they're grounding out. And that's why Augie takes over for Mark. 0-1 the count to Iannetta. 0-2 the count to Chris.
That late movement. That just froze Iannetta.
Nine ground ball outs this season, 2 fly ball outs. And he has enjoyed facing the Rockies, as you can see. 0-2, slider, number, and into the on deck circle it goes. We're talking about the workload endured by John Roush since the 2005 season. No one has made more appearances than this man. 77. Then 81, then 79, and 77 appearances. Year after year. The 0-2. Slider, strike 3.
That was the put away right there. Goodness, what a slider there from Qualls. 2 outstanding fastballs. And just right off the table to the outside corner. That is unhittable.
In his last 30 innings dating back to last year, he has 32 strikeouts and 3 walks.
Is that any good?
That's very good. Very good to see him, too.
Good outing yesterday, is that correct?
Very good outing, and now decision time. We'll see what they decide.
A couple of scoreless innings for Flash. Well, you get a healthy Tom Gordon out there in that bullpen. That is an instant shot in the arm.
Breaking ball, and it's outside. 1-1 the count. Giants come to town after an off day tomorrow. The other way, Smith. That's what you're supposed to do with the sinker. A sinker that was up a little bit, and it's a base hit.
That was pretty. Very pretty there by Seth Smith.
Number 9, Ian Stewart.
And now the dangerous Ian Stewart.
Just let the ball travel. Let it get deep. Not like Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones.
Well, yeah. Doesn't he let it travel and get deep?
Here's that one lifted.
Well, he was beat with that fastball from Qualls.
Actually, no, to the Andrew Jones question.
Didn't let it travel and get deep, huh?
You love that.
It's one of my favorites.
Poor Andrew Jones last year as a Dodger was swinging literally as a pitcher lifted his leg to come home.
And the front foot in the dugout. Oh, wow.
Well, you're going to get that. You're in good shape. A sinker that crossed somewhere over the outside corner. 0-2. Eight hits for the Rockies, 6 for the Diamondbacks. On 0-2. The other way. Connor Jackson.
Oh, D-backs get a break there. Stewart hit a laser. But it went right at left fielder Connor Jackson. So 2 outs.
One out to victory, one out until a step back closer to the 500 mark. And for Ryan Roberts and his mates, a series victory as well. And a little bit of history, as you can see. In 1-0 the count. We're in the 10th inning now in San Francisco. That game's still scoreless. San Diego and San Francisco. D-backs able to avoid being stuck in that trap.
Oh, man, just chewed him up with a fastball running in on his hands.
The 1-1 is low. Boy, a heavy and hard sinker. Can you think of more than maybe one handful's worth of pitchers that can throw a sinker at 96?
No, not too many.
It's Kevin Brown-like.
Ugh. Don't remind me. Oh.
2-2.
What do you do with that, Darren?
If you hit it, it's a ground ball.
If he's going to throw you that, you just punt. Golly.
The 2-2 off the end of the bat and into center field. Not over yet.
Well, I think Chad Qualls may have done Spilborghs a favor there by throwing him something off speed. He had just chewed him up with a fastball. Barmas got something out over and off the end of the bat, but this one ain't over. It's 4 base hits now for Spilborghs on the day. Goodness. Have a day, young man.
Number 12, Clint Barmas.
Have a day and see if you can get this man here in Clint Barmas, because the moment that we looked ahead to is edging ever closer.
Great point, Darren
Todd
Sutton.
Helton is on deck.
Number 17 is in the dugout. We're not talking about Brandon Webb. I mean on deck. That's a guy you want to see. When this game ends, you want to see him on deck.
Dexter Fowler runs for Spilborghs. So good speed, both spots now. The tying run with great speed. Topper, and it's a foul ball as it hugs the line.
Pitch running for Spilborghs at first base, number 24, Dexter Fowler.
When we talk about Helton and mention him, he had 3 unique and hard-fought battles with Dan Haren, ended up 0 for 3. He also was 0 for 1 against Tony Pena. He is 0 for 4 today. And is living for another chance. 1-1 the count. Now, the 2 pitches, it's just worth a reminder that you've seen the fastball and the slider. That's what he throws.
Oh, yeah. There's no changeup. There's no split finger. There's no curveball.
But at times the fastball moves like a split finger. The 1-1. Bouncing ball to Audio here. To the bag, and the Diamondbacks win. You get a chance to come on defensively, and that ball will find you, and it did. The first